We are live. Background. Background. Not liking how this is printing. It doesn't look good. It looks like it's dripping. Not sure what the problem is. I'm playing with supports, just so you know. Um, I'm looking to see what I can do with a support. It looks like these supports need to be changed up a little bit. My supports were molding to my items, and I wasn't able to peel them off. This one, this one is not the same, but it came out a lot cleaner. This is the hardest piece in the set to print. Um, the rest of the support should just snap right off from under this this lip right here. They should just pop right off. I don't know exactly what the problem is, but I'm going to keep playing with it. This is why I have a prototype machine coming so that I can look. See right here, you can see it looks like it's real stringy. Uh, it looks like it didn't something didn't hold right. And it might be because I'm not close enough to the mold. I'm backing the support away from the mold. I may have to go closer on this one. Because I think there's a branch that comes off that's supposed to come off here to support the head back here under back under here. We'll have to wait and see what happens. I'm not really sure on that. Automation, major failure for me yesterday. Not failure, it was a learning process. All the pieces came off, but I heard the printer struggle. And I know exactly why it struggled in the automation. There is a difference in the height, and I can show you a more pronounced difference. And what it does, what the automation software does, is it pushes at the top of the highest piece. So it's hitting in here to push it over, to clear the bed. The problem is if you don't have all the same height, it goes over all these, and then on the second pass through, it drops way down, and it's trying to push on the bottom. There's no leverage on the bottom. It's just a push of the motor pushing it. So what I need to do, what I have found is, if I stagger, don't put the pieces one behind the other. You need to stagger them a little bit on the plate from front to back. They all have to be the same height, not close in height. They have to be the same height because it will go right across and miss this. Even if it's close, it has to be the same height. So I've had to rethink how my automation's going to work. That's a big thing. I mean, guys, you have to understand. I went to bed last night. 4 printers are running. I could show you a different print because I'm tired. I'm ready to run in there to see what the string is, but I need to wait until it's done. This one is a different style poop basket. I'm using up rolls of filament I had laying around, short rolls. So what you see is the black ran out and the AMS switched to the white, the print. So now it'll finish off in white and it'll be done. This prints with no support. With all these printers coming, I need poop baskets. So I've been running poop baskets. This is my second batch. I still got to make another 2 more batches probably to have enough. This is a different model than the other one. The other one was real tall and big and bulky, and I kind of like the streamlined, smaller version. But so I went to bed last night with 4 printers running because that's all I have set up right now. I got 5 more coming today. It's showing between 6:30 and 8:30, but it hasn't updated today to let me know what time it's showing up. Um, so I went to bed and 4 printers are running. Within 2 hours of going to bed, all 4 printers shut off for the night. I don't run automation right now without me being available to watch each time it clears the bed. I want to make sure that the bed clears every time with no problems. So far, other than the height problem, um, it's clear. It's cleared the bed with no problems at all, no sweat at all. So automation is actually slower than doing it yourself, setting each print up to run. Why do I want to use automation? It's slower, but it's like the story of the turtle and the hare race when we were kids. The turtle went slow and steady, and that's how this is going to work. On automation, it's slow and steady, but it's continuous. It's around the clock. When I go to set up my pieces, now that I know what I'm doing to set them up, I'll stagger them and I'll run batches instead of sets. So I'll run 8 kings, I'll run 8 queens, 8 bishops, 8 knights, 8 rooks. Um, and I can get around 20 pawns because they're so small in space that I can get 20 within the zone that I print, and I'll just run it, and I'll have bins um, where I store the pieces when I go to package. So I'll pull them out when I run out of when I'm low on pieces. I'll just put in another order. I'm going to have work orders, uh, and put in another work order for more of that color. I'm only making one set, so there's only one design. There's nothing complicated here. It's a matter of pushing a button and it starts printing. Um, because of the volume I expect to do, I'm not worried about, well, you only got one reel of red. No, I got 10 reels of red, 10, I got 20 some reels of black and white coming. I got plenty of filament coming. It's starting to slow. The buying has slowed down. Yesterday was a little crazy. I spent around $5,000. Um, and I got to run out this morning. I made myself a Home Depot list. I need the shelving units. They have I'm going to go buy the last 3 units. I need a step stool because my printers are up a little higher because it's hard for me at my age to get down low. It hurts my knees and hips, which I should have replaced, but I'm not ready to do it. I need a drill bit, and I want to look at their nuts and see what kind of weights they have over there. I'm looking for the right nut to fit my piece for weight wise. So uh, while I'm at Home Depot, I might as well see what they got. That is the way I look at it. Um, Today is a day of everything showing up at my door. I got like 42 items showing up throughout the day for deliveries between Amazon, Bamboo, and all the other stuff that I ordered. I believe filament's coming today as well. Big order of filament. Interesting thing I found, my humidity level is 26% in that print room. Um, I'm not really going to have to run a dehumidifier. I'm going to have to run an air filter only because I want to. Um, I'm My electrician comes today. We're going to look at 2 different options. I'm either going to drop more electric into that back bedroom, or I'm going to drop more electric into this office and put half the printers out here. I know yesterday I said I'm not going to get any bigger. Guess what? I have a strange feeling by January, I am going to need real estate. Um, I could see growing this thing quite large. Um, I don't know that it'll be me doing it, but I can see where I can build this thing up. I watched Pat Dees last night, and I'm sure he may watch this today. Him and Steve were talking. The big difference that I see, and I'm not beating these guys up. I really like these guys. I break Pat's balls about not liking them, but he's too happy for me, and he's always got Christmas up. It drives me nuts. That's the autistic in me. Take your Christmas tree down if you put one up. Um, the big difference between me and those guys is I'm out to make a profit. I and not at a hobby level. I started this as a business and I'm following through as a business. They started it as a hobby because they thought it was cool. They thought it would be a neat thing to try. Um, when I finally pulled the trigger, it was all business from day one. Um, other than a couple little things that I've printed just for like my brother, the dice thing I showed you yesterday. Other than that, everything has been chess related or parts for to modify the machines. Nothing has been like, oh, I want to toy with this. I want to make this and see how it goes. Hey, Steve, I was just talking about you. Not beating you up, but it's I can see the clear difference um, in the mindset that when I approach this, and when I pulled the trigger on this, I went straight business, and it's just the chess pieces. I'm keeping very good track of what I got coming and going. Um, I really haven't printed anything other than what's needed. I keep running automation tests. My automation test yesterday was perfect. Um, I know, and I just want. I guess I'm saying it because I watched you guys last night, and I think you guys had a great show. But I also seen the difference in the mindset. Um, I'm looking to print one item a million times. I really am. Uh, I don't want to have to experiment. Um, the you know my next product is very simple. It's going to be this with a weight in it. So I got to put a weight in the bottom. How much once I have this? How much work is it going to be to get the nut into the bottom? I can when I run my prototypes, I can cut the top off, so I'm not wasting a lot of ink and just work on the base with the nut until I can get that nut exactly the way I want it in the base. The top is already perfected. I already got it where I got no seam lines, and this thing is like I don't see anything I can do to improve this at all. Um, every piece is smooth, feels good in my hand. I think the buyers that use it and buy it and play with it are going to like it. Um, so there's not a lot of work for me there. My work is in the business side of it. I got to make sure money's flowing, cash flow, filament. I'm going to burn a lot of filament. I'm probably 9 rolls of filament in 6 days. Um, the automation, the business side of it is where how much inventory do I run with? Do I start with 24 units of each? Do I start with more units of colors that we know will sell, black, white, red, so that I'm not spinning my wheels trying to make 10 sets a week after I start? What's it going to take to run this business? Um, I have a P1S coming today. I have a place for it over there. That's my prototype machine so that I don't interfere with the print form. I'm running this as a business, and I'm not trying to beat anybody up that does it for a hobby or on a small scale, listen, I went to Pat D's originally eh, to talk about printing these chess pieces for me. And I knew that I was going to need volume. I mean, I didn't even start with um, all the colors I wanted. I mean, I could have given him an order for, he was talking about the soap order being the biggest order he's had. And I'm looking at probably somewhere around 400 units to start with 17 pieces in each unit. That's a substantial order for somebody that only has 4 or 5 printers. And I'm not beating Pat up. I don't want anybody to think I'm beating anybody up here. But I knew from the beginning that this had to be run like a business. And that's why I'm over here talking. I'm not you. I don't think you'll see me talk about how I adjust my supports because I'm going to dial in my product. Like if I decide to make this a product, I really like this set. I think it'll look good. It's you can't see it in white, but it looks like carved wood. Um, it looks like carved wood. Bamboo has a series of wood colors, and I'm thinking it would look really good as wood coloring. Doesn't mean I'll do it, but that's a prototype. I printed one and I'm done. I said, this isn't prototype printing. I should be printing prototypes when my P1S comes today, not on my machines for production. And I stopped doing it. And I said it during while this one's printing. I have one printing now. When they're done, I'm done with them. No more prototypes on those machines back there. That is production only. Um, I will run automation back there, my automation test back there, because that's where the automation will be. Um, that's my hobby machine, Steve. I'm gonna use this. I'm gonna use the P1S more like you guys um, use it. I'm looking at airbrush for coloring on these things. Can I highlight them? Can I do? I'm sorry, I'm reading a comment. I did some research in my niche on eBay. Only 3 sellers selling 3D printed items for my niche. They have no real following on eBay. I have 1,500 followers on my eBay page. I think I could take it over. Of course you can. This guy is in trouble. This company is in trouble. They don't even know it yet. This company is they're gonna notice me coming into the market because the market. If what you're saying is true, if there's only 3 sellers selling 3D printed items in your niche, that means you know your niche better than those 3 sellers probably. If that's the case, you can make a superior product. If you have a superior product, there's nothing stopping you from taking over a niche, but you have to look at it. At that point in time, you cross from hobby selling to an actual business because now you're looking to take over a market, which means you may have to run on a smaller profit margin to begin with to really push your product out there. You may have to do a little advertising. You may have to jump on and do some videos. You may have to do some work to actually get that product to take over the market. That's where I'm working. Um, you know, this is more than just one listing. I'm going to be putting out information about how I'm doing this. Virtual bundles is big on Amazon. Amazon is pushing virtual bundles. So there's a reason why they're pushing it. I don't know what the reasoning is yet, but I know they're pushing it. So they've put money into it. If they're pushing a product, they put money behind it. If they put money behind it, they've done research, which means it is a viable thing. Now, what I like about the A1 Mini, guys, and I'm gonna like it even more as I get this going, is I can go back there. I can take those 4 poop baskets off, hit reprint, and the machine takes over from there. I don't have to set anything up. On the A1s, you got to work through the screen. On the P1, you have to work through the screen to get to a reprint screen. Um, I I picked my machine for a reason. I Somebody asked me today in message, you know, what machine do I need? What's the fastest machine? It's not about speed. If you're doing this as a business, it's not about speed. Could I go in with A1s? Money wise, there's no question. I could have bought P1Ss. I could have bought 20 P1Ss to set this up. It wasn't about that. I knew going in, I did my research before I started this, that I wanted to do automation. It was the only way that this would be profitable at the level I wanted to be profitable. Was I had to have P1 I had to have automation in this. With automation, it's not about how much you can fit on the bed. It's about how much you can make it repeat over and over again without a cycle breaking. If you're printing a large item, it's very hard to get that item automated. Chess pieces work perfect because as they cool off, they shrink and they're very easy to push off. So I don't need a big bed. I don't need height. I need something that I'm able to run continuously steady in that manner. And a lot of people don't realize what that is. That I look at things a lot different than everybody else. I think Steve's starting to get a little understanding of that, because of how I do it and how much different it is. Um, I dabble at night when my day's done and my work is over. Yes, I go on printables and I download crap like this dice box. How can I redesign this dice box uh, so that it's a sellable item on Amazon that I can mass produce? Every item I print, what goes through my mind is how can I mass produce that without going to China? How many colors would people really buy this in? Can I put a 3D dragon on the front of this so that it's different than everybody else's? And everybody's going to have a hard time putting a dragon on the front. That takes modeling skills. And I don't have modeling skills, but I do have the time and the patience to figure it out. Just like when that automation blew up last night. Just so you know, I'll repeat it again because I said it at the beginning and nobody was here. In automation, you can only have one size. You can't run multiple sizes. I'll switch the printer. Let's go back and see how bad my horse head is. And I got to get out of here. I can't get tied up talking about this stuff. I could sit here for hours, guys, and talk about business stuff. Oh yeah, this is going to be a mess again. No big deal. It's a learning. This is my learning curve. But you just will never see it again on one of my A1 machine, one of my minis. I ran a whole set. I call this the back line. The back line is king, queen, two bishops, two knights, and two rooks. That's my back line. I ran that on automation, and it printed fine. It knocked the king off fine. But what happens with automation is it pushes at a high point in the print to knock it down so that it falls off the bed. Well, because the king is so much taller than all the other pieces, it went right over the top of every other piece. Then on the next swipe through, it goes down so low that there was no leverage. It was pushing here. If it pushed here, it would fall right over. So I can only run the same size pieces in automation. These are things that I got to learn. And nobody could tell me that. Nobody has that answer for me. The guy that came up with the system does one-off pieces. He has a bigger piece. He's designed the piece so it pushes off every time. So it works for him. Now, can I go in and, with the help of Chat GPT and Donna, and work on it for another week and get it to where I can print one set in automation so it pushes the whole set off? All I have to do is change the code so that on the second swipe, after it pushes the king off, it comes down lower and pushes the queens off. And then the next swipe, it comes down lower and pushes the bishops off. And the next swipe, it pushes the knights off. And then the last swipe, it pushes the rooks off. And then it comes down and clears the bed at pawn level. So it takes all the pawns off. So can I do it? Absolutely, positively, 100% sure I can get it to print the way I want it to. Am I going to be able to do it right out of the gate? No. Do I need to do it? This is what I was thinking about. Do I need to invest the time to fix it? Or is it good enough the way it is? And I run 8 kings, 8 queens, and I have buckets of pieces where I pick the pieces out when I'm packaging. You tell me. I think they're good enough the way it is. It will be something I work on as a part of my North Star, which is I have to be better today than I was yesterday. How do I improve this business today so that it's better than it was yesterday? That could be profit, that could be streamlining, that could be the process, that could be just my basic knowledge and understanding of what I'm doing. I love that those of us over 50 have the passion to keep learning new things. I try very hard. My mother told me her biggest regret in life, my mother is 80, her biggest regret in life was when she retired, she stopped learning. And I was dumbfounded when she told me that. Guys, I really need to get running. I got so much. Today is going to be a crazy day because I got so much showing up on the porch. And I've really organized my storage, where it's going to store. It's going to store in a closet back there. If I get a chance, I will try to get the camera, the YouTube set up on my phone so that I can go live while I'm working back there for a few minutes. It won't be part of this series. It was just so you could see around what a disaster it is when you get hit with 47 items showing up on your porch, plus my wife's order and stuff in between as well. So, guys, remember, God loves you. Lord knows I'm trying, but it's time for me to go. You guys have a great day. I hope that you can learn just a little bit from all this rambling I do. God bless.